if anyone out there bet, and I assume the prop bets are available somewhere, that the Cardinals would be the last unbeaten team in the NFC. They made a hell of a lot of money yesterday, Mike. I didn't see it coming. I thought the Rams, who had beaten the Cardinals 8 straight times, primarily with Jared Goff at quarterback, then they upgrade to Matthew Stafford. I'm thinking, this is not going to go well for the Cardinals. The Rams have their number. The Rams had looked much better than the Cardinals so far this year. Cardinals should have lost to the Vikings, could have lost to the Jaguars. The Rams, meanwhile, when we last saw them, were dismantling the Buccaneers. I thought this would be 37-20 the other way. Cardinals instead. They showed us they belong. They showed us they're for real, and I think they gave the Rams something they did not expect.
So I'd said this I believe in week 1 or even before the season, that a place to improve for Arizona. They were top 10 in running, but I think they were in the low 20s in passing. They averaged about 244 yards a game last year. But again, they were top 10 in running, and a big part of that certainly was Kyler Murray. Well, they're running the ball well again this year, and certainly ranked up there, which they should be. But I said for them to take the next step, Kyler Murray in that passing game is going to have to get better. They went from 244 yards last year to right now this year, they're averaging 304 a game. They're 4th in the league in passing. So he is, and I don't mean just running out of the pocket and passing, it's in the pocket and passing as well, because ultimately you have to be able to do that, whether it's in the pocket, whether it's a little half roll, or whether it's completely getting out of the pocket. You have to be able to stand in the pocket and make those throws. And he's doing that even better this year. Their defense is a good defense that can make some plays at times, but their offense, to go along with the numbers I just gave you, the most important one, how many points are you scoring? Well, they lead the NFL at 35 points a game. So the passing game has improved. They're leading in scoring right now. So everything put together, I guess we are a little shocked that they did. I'm amazed how much they have improved in the passing game, and that's kudos to Kyler Murray without a doubt, Cliff Kingsbury without question, him getting the protection he needs, the running game working as well. But they had the running game last year as well. So Kyler Murray and the progression made by quarterbacks when they start in the league to where they get in their first couple of years, of how much more calmer they are, how their completion percentage improves, that's always something to keep an eye on. And Kyler Murray has certainly done that with this offense.
Balance on offense makes you unpredictable, keeps the defense on its heels, makes it harder for the defense to lean one way or the other before the snap to know what's coming. And when you throw in that ability for Kyler Murray to run when he needs to, not just when he wants to, don't overdo it. Use it strategically and surgically. You got to scramble, you got to go, you see an opening, you run for a first down on 3rd and 16. That's an element that no one else really has the way that the Cardinals currently have it, because once he decides to go, he's a blur. And the key is going to continue to be keep him healthy. You keep Kyler Murray healthy, you keep him from taking the big hits, you keep him playing at a high level, and the Cardinals are going to be tough to deal with. I never would have dreamed that they would be the last unbeaten team in the NFC, and possibly the last in the NFL if the Raiders lose to the Chargers tonight. And I kind of like it. On one hand, Mike, I like it when there's that team that keeps the 72 Dolphins nervous deep into November, December. But parity, this is Pete Rozell's vision, where there really isn't right now a team that is flat-out dominant, except the Buffalo Bills. We'll be talking about them coming up. But the Cardinals, just because they won that game, I mean, Kyler Murray said it himself, they need to keep going. They got the 49ers this week. That 4-0 can become 4-1 quickly.
So they're one of those teams, again, that and I've talked about this before, that this is a scoring points era. And that's what they're doing. So you have to, it's a keep-up league. You have to, when we say outscore the opponent, I know people think, well, that sounds stupid. Of course you need to do. And I keep saying, no, outscore usually in the 30s, high 20s or 30s or more. That's what you have to be able to do. And Arizona can do that without question. These are the teams that are going to win. Now, again, you got to count on your defense, some like Tampa Bay did last year, certainly throughout the year, and then later in the playoffs, the defense really did a number. But you have to score, and they can. They can put points on the board. But I'm just happy to see what Kyler Murray's doing. When you say, we weren't sure, Kyler could do this with the run. Well, or who else can do that? There's two guys to me. There's Kyler Murray and there's Lamar Jackson for Baltimore. These guys, we know they can run, and we've never seen a running quarterback last really long in the league. But these two guys, now they haven't been in the league for a decade, but they're certainly trending to defy that as long, they don't take that one hit. And they're both passing the ball extremely well as well. So, these are two guys, and this is where the NFL is going to see more and more players come in that are incredible athletes as well, who can spin the ball really well and make plays out of the pocket, which makes them even more dangerous. But, yeah, Arizona seems to be taking that next step by leaps and bounds.
The difference in my mind, Mike, between Murray and Jackson is that Murray is able to kind of zip around without taking the contact. Jackson, because of his size, he embraces it. And he'll put a shoulder down. He'll put a head down. He'll do what he has to do to blast through guys. And he's almost got that Cam Newton early in his career indestructible vibe. The problem is, after 5-6 years, it's hard to stay indestructible. If Murray is a guy that you just never can really get a clean hit on, he's the one who's more likely to sustain it.
Oh, I completely agree with that. And what else, when you're a successful runner, sometimes you get overconfident as a runner. I think one of the greatest lines you can give to a quarterback, or really anybody, but mostly a quarterback when they're running, is knowing the journey's over, and get the hell down. Save it for another play. But when you have guys like Murray and like Lamar who can be unbelievably dangerous with their running, they don't have that thought process, or not as much as other guys who are just going to sliding it down because they feel they can beat that next guy. And quite honestly, a lot of times they can. Those two are incredible, and their passing is amazing. I had forgot to mention last week, and it's my bad, with Lamar and the throwing, the drops that he had, that he, there was a couple in this past game with Denver, but at least he had, Hollywood Brown hang on to the ball a little bit, made a phenomenal catch in one. But, these guys are passing the ball well and dangerous threats running the ball. So just wondering where the limits are for these guys.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.